So, well, I don't know if you are with me on this. I think there are quite a few of us here that are looking to need to kind of restart life a little bit. And while everybody's talking about resolutions for the new year, I think resolutions fail time and time again for the very same reason that what I think we need to actually be looking at will succeed. Hey there, friends, and welcome to a warmer than usual, quite actually lovely day here in Western North Carolina. I am trying to get some time outside, which is really nice and quite a blessing to be able to get in January, where it is cool, but the sun is shining and it feels good. And I've been really deeply thinking over the past couple weeks specifically about a lot of areas of my life, areas that I'm not doing so hot in. I'm facing a lot of hardships, a lot of struggles. Our family has had a lot of loss. We've had a lot of things that we've been dealing with here lately. And it's like when everything in your life hits a point that you're either going to succumb to it and be washed away in the onslaught of chaos, or this is your hero moment to say, I'm not going to be broken. I'm not going to keep going down that path and dealing with that and struggling in that way. I'm going to rise out of the ashes and rebuild and reset and pursue that true lasting peace and purpose that my life is sorely lacking. And I'm really hoping to be that person and not the, give up, give in, game over person that some days I really feel like I want to be. We actually pulled out these pallets over here and made ourselves a little patio kind of on this part of our property. The sheep are down there and I can sit here and look at the sheep. I've set my little chair up out here. I've been sitting down reading and just kind of spending time unplugging from all the bits and bobs of life and just thinking. And I know that this time of year is, everybody's about the resolutions until everybody realized those don't work. And so now everybody's anti-resolution and everybody's anti-New Year and anti this or that. And the more I was thinking about it, it was like, I think this time of the year is an interesting time. Not because a new year has any special anything to it, but because I think it is just a widely acceptable social kind of just norm to look at a new calendar year as some start of a fresh, clean slate, some sort of thing that you can turn that page. And we as a culture, as a society, kind of look at it and go, you know what? It's a new year, right? You don't have to be tied down to what you're dealing with last year. You have what you have this year. And I think the Bible tells us that in that every day, God's mercies are new. And so every day that God gives us breath, gives us life, kind of is that opportunity to say, all right, Lord, who am I going to be today, right? What am I going to do? I talked about this in the last video. And if you guys haven't watched that, I'll link it at the end so you guys can go and see it, because I think asking those questions are so incredibly important to kind of figuring out this next step here. And so as I'm looking at things going on in my life, things that, I've dropped the ball on or I've not done well on, things that have been out of my control, that there's nothing I can do about it, things that are overwhelming and difficult and hard to work through in the ways that, I just want to give up and say, forget it. I don't know what to do. You just want to give in. You want to be angry. You want to get bitter. You want to get sad. You want to get anxious, right? Whatever it is that you might be feeling that you want to do. I don't think it's New Year's resolutions that we need to be worried about and focused on. And then I think that for so many of us, we've given up on those and we say, well, they don't work. So, right, whatever I say I'm going to do on January 1st, I've usually already given up by January 15th. I think the problem is because we're focused on resolutions and not rituals. Because it's in rituals, it's in rhythms, it's in routines that not only do we enact change, but we're able to build up a habit and carry that out. I started something last year. I really was feeling overwhelmed by a lot of these things that I'm sure we'll, talk about as I try to unpack them and work through here in my own life. But I had started this kind of clean slate challenge for myself where I just wanted to clear everything out and start over. And I was sick of being overwhelmed by the physical clutter around me, the emotional baggage I was carrying, the, financial struggles I was going through, whatever it was. And I just wanted to kind of reset everything. And I really was working on stripping out old stuff and trying to build in good habits. I think for me, I tried to bite off more than I could chew, and I kind of just burnt myself out and hit rock bottom again, which was not the best way to do it. So as I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, there is something so beautiful about winter, the time of hibernating, the time of resting, the time of just kind of hunkering in and allowing some inner rejuvenation to start to build up, right? I think of all the, the trees around me. Most of our trees out here in North Carolina, they shed their leaves in the autumn, and we have all that beautiful color that we have. And then everything is just sad and ugly for the winter because there are no leaves on anything. We don't yet have the buds of spring. And so everything is just gray and dead and kind of yucky, But I was kind of looking at some of these things that I'm needing to tackle in my life. And I'm like, I don't know. I think I need a season of being that barren, sad looking tree. And it's not because anything's wrong with the tree. The tree is actually doing a lot, right? Because deep down in the tree, it is resting, it is hibernating, it's kind of rejuvenating itself. It's getting ready for this big burst that we're going to see in the spring, where all of a sudden everything is covered in buds, and then there's beautiful blooms everywhere, and those bright green leaves come out, right? It's absolutely a gorgeous process to watch. And coming from the desert of Southern California, we don't get to see all that, okay? So any of you who come from an area that's a little more barren in that way, let me know where you're at. I was originally from the desert of Southern California. Think of like Joshua Tree National Park, Palm Springs, that area out there. We don't quite get this process. So I never really understood it much until I moved to the East Coast and live out here in North Carolina, where it is so beautiful. And we have all four seasons very, very distinctively. And I love it. And so watching the trees right now, they look so sad, they look so barren, they look so ugly, right? There's no color anywhere. Everything just kind of has this dullness to it. But it's because it is doing exactly as God designed it to be able to prepare itself for the burst that's going to come forth in the spring, which technically, if you look biblically, is God's new year. So a biblical new year comes in the spring, which I think just makes so much sense when we look around at the world around us, right? When you see all the new life that spring brings. Winter really is this time of rest, of rejuvenation, of restoration. And when we're so focused on trying to set resolutions, or we've gotten so bitter to the whole idea because they don't work, so then we just shun the whole thing, I think we're selling ourselves short, because it's when we build rhythms, routines, rituals, whatever word you want to put to it, which apparently they all start with R's, but you start to build those habits. And that's where you see real change come in. I think for most of us, we've all hit this point, and I honestly think that 2026 is going to be quite the pivotal year. So mark my words here today, what is it, January 6th, I think, that I think 2026 is going to be a big year. We are all sick and tired of a lot of the same things. We are sick and tired of AI. AI showed up and has taken over everything, and everybody's sick and tired of it. People aren't watching YouTube anymore. People are leaving social media in droves. People are sick of being on their phones. They're sick of not having community and fellowship that actually nurtures their spirit. They're sick of being stressed out, not making enough money, not being able to even make ends meet. The cost of living crisis is out of control. So many of us are so weary. We are so worn out. And instead of taking a period to go and be these trees, to let all the leaves die and fall off, and to just restore, rejuvenate, really just pull in and have this time of hibernation, to focus on the things that you need, right? To build up the rituals, the rhythms, the routines that you need to be able to thrive. There's so much that is so heavy in our world today. We have news coming in at us. Even if you're like me, I'm not a person who watches mainstream news. I don't. Maybe if there's something that happens and I'm curious to see what they have to say or something, but like, I don't. I know there's some homes, family members that I love so much that their news station is playing on their TV, blaring at them 24/7, right? It gives me anxiety just hanging out in the house because I'm like, oh, this is too much. Wherever you fall on the spectrum, we all have so much information coming in at us all the time. It's on our phone. People are talking about it. You're hearing it, right? It's everywhere. So much information coming in and just blaring at you. So many things fighting for your attention. All of these devices, right? All of these things, I promise you, there are going to be so few of you that even see this video because I am not doing the thing that's causing you to consume more of the junk they want you to consume. And so unless you're liking this video and sharing it with friends and engaging in it, YouTube's going to take it and they're just going to kill it. They're just going to throw it off to the side and be like, we don't need people to, I'm not telling you to go buy anything. I'm not telling you to consume more media. I'm not telling you to just live glued into your screen. And so this isn't going to be something that they want to pass on, right? That's just how it works. That's how the system works. And unless you and I, right, the real people, realize what makes a difference and what makes an impact and where we should invest our time wisely. What content should you watch? When should you interact with it? What should you share, right? What should you engage in? Once we start making these changes and doing these things, should we drop all our leaves, pull ourselves in and go, you know what? I need to rest. I need to restore. I need to rejuvenate. How do I do that? And not just make up, my New Year's resolutions that I'm going to drop in a week. How do I start building rituals and just rhythms, routines, right? Whatever word you want to use for it, that will start to transform my life from the inside out. There's a bunch of us now. We're going through, we've got a great women's group here on YouTube. We use the little membership area here. We're reading through the whole Bible. We started in December. We're spending this whole winter just reading through the whole Bible. That is a rhythm that I have been establishing in my life where I pull up my audiobook, I put in my earbud or whatever it is, and I just let it play and I listen to it. And every day I'm going through about 14 chapters of scripture, just soaking it all in. I'm not stopping and breaking down every single thing. I'm just soaking it all in. I'm building up that ritual of spending that time. I usually do it about the same time every day. I kind of do the same things. I put that on and I listen. We all have rituals. We all have routines and rhythms that we're already involved in. There are so many things I am sure that you do each and every day exactly the same. How many of those rituals truly serve you though? How much does endless scrolling serve you? How much does getting lost in YouTube holes serve you? How much does just listening to the horrible things that the news is screaming at you, like how much does that actually serve you? What are the things that you spend your days doing? Have you even checked your device to see how much screen time you clock in on there? How much time is that for you each week? Have you ever checked it? And it's funny when we start making even little adjustments. I'm not saying you have to overhaul it, right? Like I tried doing that and it didn't work out so hot. So I'm trying to go at it a little bit simpler. But when you go somewhere, I had appointments early this morning and I knew the person I was taking was going to be in and I was going to be just kind of stuck in a waiting room for an hour. So I took a book with me. I did take my phone with me because we were out and about. And if anything happened here at the house, I obviously would want them to be able to reach me, but it stayed on silent in my purse. If something really happened, it would have buzzed on my watch. If somebody was actually calling me, something's going on. So I took it, but I left it in my bag. The only thing I pulled out was a book, right? How often do we just grab our phone and start scrolling? It's the most interesting habit to start to break of these rituals we've created where we just go to our device or we just go to frustration or we just go to more shopping or we just go to whatever it might be that you go to, right? Whatever ritual it is that you are interacting with, that we get so used to doing the things that we do. Well, instead of setting resolutions that you're probably not going to last very long on, maybe you will, and praise God, that's amazing, but probably not. How about we start looking at the little rituals we have throughout our day? What if instead of getting on a device first thing in the morning, you made it your new morning ritual to come outside, even when it's cold, right? Bundle up, let the sunshine hit your face for 5 minutes. Drink your tea while listening to the Bible, right? Doing something, creating that new little rhythm that is actually going to serve you so much deeper, better, bigger, whatever word you need to use there. It's going to make such a difference compared to what you're currently doing. Maybe we don't need to set a bunch of resolutions, and it's not just about the word for the year or whatever it is that we pick, but it's about going, what are little rituals that I can start building up in my days, in my weeks, in my months that are going to serve me in a much better way? Would it make more sense to say, hey, instead of in the evening sitting around and just watching TV or scrolling on my phone, or usually turning on the TV and then still scrolling on my phone, what if I took no device with me and I went for a walk? What if one day a week I just found something fun to go do with my kids? It doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be elaborate, it doesn't have to be any of those things. Our family, we actually last year, we started doing this where every Friday is our excursion day. We go do something together. Sometimes it's just walking around a main street of a town near us. A couple things we did do is we found things. We did 2 places where if we bought a family membership, we could use it all year long, right? So we did that at 2 different places. One of them was really great because I got it, and as a homeschool mom, I got a great discount on it. So it was very, very inexpensive. That was to a science center not too far away. But then they had extra benefits that by being a member there are many other places we can get into free just from that one membership. And so we're able to go to all kinds of different science centers and nature places and things like that, even baseball games over the summer and different stuff like that. We get into all of these things for free just off of that. So it makes every excursion we then go on, dollars compared to what it would cost to try to do that, right? That was a great thing. Another thing we did is we got a membership to one other place. I waited until it was on sale at the end of the year, and come to find out, all of my kids 16 and under get in free, right? So it was one of those, like, this is fantastic. This is way cheaper than it would be just for us to go to this place one time, and now we can go to it all year long. We can create this ritual where on this one day every week, we just go do something fun together. Whether it's going out to one of these places and going for a walk and having a picnic, maybe it's going to the science center or checking out some different thing or whatever, we're starting to build this rhythm and this routine into our lives that is so beautiful and so lovely. It makes life just feel so wonderful that we have that focus and that thing. And even if we are having a really, really rough week and we're having a hard time getting through all of this stuff, man, we're looking forward to that because that's our thing we're going to go do, and it's going to be such a great time. When we start building these rituals, these routines, these rhythms into our days, into our weeks, into our months, into our years, I think that can have a much larger impact on us than setting a bunch of to-dos, right? A bunch of resolutions that I'm just all of a sudden going to tackle all these things, or the opposite of that, being so burnt out on all of that you just go, nope, it's all worthless. None of it matters, just whatever. And then just feeling stuck and miserable in the spot that you're in. That's not worth living. God gives us these beautiful, amazing, wonderful lives. Each and every day is a gift. And what do so many of us do with it? And I get it. Circumstances stink. I am not disagreeing with that in the slightest. Circumstances can be so difficult, and I get it. I get it 1,000,000%. There's so many things that I just want to give up on, be angry about, not care anymore, and say, forget it, and just fall off the face of the map and hide from everything, right? Like, I get it. Sometimes that feels like a good way to go about it, but I don't think it is. And I don't think that is a good use of the life, of the breath, of the opportunity, the possibility that God has given each and every one of us. And I think instead, looking at little ways that I can bring just rituals and rhythms into my day to take care of myself better, to connect with my children on a deeper level, to pour into those relationships around me, the life that I have and the life that I want to be living. And if you guys missed my conversation the other day about those two questions. I think if we start asking ourselves, we can start seeing real change in our lives. I'll go ahead and leave that here on the next screen for you all. So I'm praying for you. I'm lifting you up. And if these types of conversations are ones that you'd like to have a friend to come over and have them with, make sure you subscribe, stick around, share this with a friend, like this video. All of those things really do help to show YouTube that these are the things we want to be seeing and not the AI slop nonsense that their algorithms keep feeding us, right? I'll see you all right back here in the next one. Bye, friends.